October 1st, 331 BCE, near Gaugamela, in the heart of Mesopotamia. Imagine standing on a vast open plain. No hills, no cover, no escape. Across the dust, an army unfolds, 250,000 Persian soldiers, the largest force the ancient world had ever assembled. To the Persians, this battle was already decided. This wasn't an army raised to fight, it was built to end resistance. At its center stands Darius III, the King of Kings, a ruler so powerful that most armies were trained never to face him, only to submit. Power like his didn't expect opposition. It expected obedience. Opposing him, 47,000 Macedonians, led by a 25-year-old king who had never lost a battle and had never been closer to death, Alexander of Macedon. The Persians outnumber him 5-1. They dominate the wings with cavalry. Scythed chariots line the front. War elephants loom behind them. By every rule of ancient warfare, this should have ended before it began. But watch closely. By sunset, the Persian Empire will collapse. The King of Kings will abandon his army and flee. Alexander will claim the title King of Asia. How did an army that should have been annihilated destroy an empire in a single afternoon? By the end of this video, you'll understand how the impossible happened and why history was never the same afterward. If this is the kind of history you enjoy, consider subscribing. To understand why Gaugamela mattered, you first need to understand how Alexander fought wars. Alexander never planned for second chances. In 334 BCE, he crossed into Asia with just 35,000 men, not to negotiate, not to probe, but to punish Persia for invading Greece and to prove that Macedonia ruled the battlefield. At the Granicus River, he charged headlong into Persian forces, nearly dying when an axe split his helmet. He survived. Persia broke. 1 year later at Issus, Darius himself came to stop him. The battlefield was narrow. Persian numbers were useless. Alexander spotted the king, charged straight at him. Darius fled. He left behind his family, his treasury, his army. Alexander didn't just win battles, he shattered authority. After Issus, the balance of power shifted. Tyre resisted and was erased after 7 brutal months. Egypt surrendered without a fight and crowned Alexander pharaoh. Every victory followed the same pattern: decisive, personal, final. But one man remained. Darius was still alive, still ruling the empire's core. And this time, he was learning. By 331 BCE, there was nowhere left to retreat. This time, Darius chose the battlefield. Wide, flat, endless, a place where cavalry could surround, where numbers could finally matter. Gaugamela. Darius believed Alexander's luck had run out, that reckless courage wouldn't save him again. Alexander believed something else entirely. Wars were decided by breaking the king, and at Gaugamela, doing that meant risking everything. September 30th, the night before the battle. Darius believed victory was inevitable. His plan was simple. Chariots would rip open the enemy line. Cavalry would crush the flanks. Once Alexander was exposed, the empire would finish him. In the Macedonian camp, officers urged a night attack. Strike first. Avoid the trap. Alexander refused. I will not steal victory like a thief. He wanted Darius to see him, to face him, to lose in daylight. That night, Alexander walked the battlefield alone. He studied the ground Darius trusted and saw exactly where the empire would fracture. October 1st, dawn. Look across the Persian line. This isn't just an army, it's an empire daring the world to challenge it. 250,000 men, drawn from every corner of the known world. Cavalry from Bactria and Scythia, riders since childhood. Infantry from Babylon, Media, Syria, and India, different languages, cultures, and loyalties, forced into one command. At the front waited 200 scythed chariots, blades mounted to tear infantry apart. Behind them stood war elephants from India, living weapons meant to shatter formations before battle even began. At the center sat Darius III, watching the plain he had chosen himself. On the Persian left stood Bessus, commanding elite Bactrian and Scythian cavalry. On the right waited Mazaeus, anchoring the opposite flank. This is what imperial power looks like, an army designed to end wars in a single day. Now look at the other side. 47,000 Macedonians and Greeks. No depth, no reserves, no room for error. At the center stood the phalanx, 31,000 heavy infantry locked shoulder to shoulder, wielding 18-foot sarissas, a moving wall of bronze. Behind them were 9,000 light troop spelltasts, archers, and elite shock infantry, trained to disrupt and counter what the phalanx could not. And on the wings, 7,000 cavalry. On the right rode Alexander himself, leading the companion cavalry, his personal strike force. On the left, Parmenion commanded the defensive flank, tasked with holding the line while Alexander reshaped the battlefield. Alexander rode before his men. "Look at them," he said. "They fight for gold. They fight because they are ordered. Fight because this ground is yours. Behind us is Greece-sand. There is no road home that does not pass through this field. Ahead stands a king who believes numbers decide fate. Today show him what discipline decides. Hold the line. Watch me. Where I ride. Follow. If I fall, do not stop." Silence. Then shields slammed. Spears struck bronze. Not celebration, commitment. The Persian wings stretched far beyond the Macedonian line. Encirclement wasn't a threat, it was the plan. Alexander moved first. Instead of advancing straight ahead, he ordered his line to drift slowly to the right away from the prepared killing ground. It looked like a fatal mistake, but Bessus saw the danger immediately. Alexander wasn't attacking the center, he was slipping past it. To stop him, Bessus extended his cavalry farther and farther outward, stretching the Persian line and thinning the center. Still drifting right, Alexander forced the decision. Bessus attacked. Persian cavalry surged forward. The bait was taken. Darius committed. Scythed chariots charged. War elephants thundered forward. But the phalanx did not panic. It opened lanes. Chariots tore through empty corridors as missiles cut down their drivers. The elephants were harassed, blinded, and driven sideways, finished as the ranks closed behind them. The gamble collapsed in moments. On the opposite flank, Mazaeus hammered Parmenion, pushing the Macedonian left to its limit. Then Darius ordered a massive infantry advance and some thousands surging into the center. Every reserve, every option. And in doing so, he exposed himself. A gap appeared, thin, frayed, unguarded. Alexander saw it. He gathered the companion cavalry, wheeled left, and charged. Not at the army, at the king. The wedge smashed into the Persian center. Alexander drove closer, cutting through guards, step by step, and then Darius broke. For the second time, the King of Kings turned and fled. The moment he ran, the empire unraveled. Orders stopped, units disengaged. An army became a crowd. Alexander pursued until a message arrived. Parmenion was in danger. Alexander turned back, reinforced the flank, and stabilized the line. Only then did the battle end. Darius escaped, but his empire did not. Gaugamela was over. Before this day, Persia was still a functioning superpower. After it, the command structure was gone. Babylon opened its gates. Susa surrendered its treasure. Persepolis burned. Yet the war wasn't finished. Darius still lived, and as long as the king survived, resistance remained possible. So Alexander pushed east, seeking not land, but legitimacy. That pursuit led him into the mountains. In 330 BCE, Persia made its final stand in a place designed to do what Gaugamela could not. Stop Alexander completely. The Battle of the Persian Gate. An ambush. The last hope. In the moment Alexander came closer to defeat than ever before, watch the Battle of the Persian Gate now.